Today, we have one very long video, I have to say, because this topic is something that requires a lot of time and a lot of explaining. So, if you're in a mood for a podcast, might I say like that, then buckle up because this is gonna be long and detailed. Okay, so I hope I don't have coffee on my lips, but if I do, just ignore it. So, I actually wrote down life lessons that I've learned in my 28 years of being alive on this planet, but I realized that if I go through each and every one of them, this video will be 10 hours long. So, I decided to go with one and dedicate this video to one of these lessons. And the lesson is called I don't know what I will name this video, but something like you can't be fair in an unfair world, or you can't play fair in an unfair world, or you can't win in an unfair world, something like that. And this is actually a sentence that a therapist told me when I was in one of my therapy sessions, when I was going through something very difficult. And that sentence sounds so simple and so, like common sense. Like everybody knows that this world is not fair. Up until that moment when somebody actually said it out loud to me, I never fully understood and acknowledged how accurate that is and how right she was. For some context, I need to give you a little bit of my history. So I was raised and brought up in the Balkans, in Croatia and Serbia both, and I spent the majority of my life with my dad and my granddad. I mean, of course, my mom was also in my life, but for a longer period of my life, she actually wasn't present, which is not her fault, but that was just the circumstance. So, yeah, I have a lot of this male traditional influence on me ever since I was a little girl. And I think it's very important to mention that for the context of this story and life lesson. So now that you know this fact that I was raised mostly by my dad and my granddad, you can imagine how that could have shaped me and my way of thinking from the moment I was a little girl up until today. I mean, I literally deleted 80% of my memories, let's say, or the ways that they were trying to raise me to be or to become, because I simply don't agree with them, and I don't think that they are good for me and for my future. And that's exactly why I love to make these videos and to dedicate some of these videos to these topics, because I always imagine there's a girl somewhere in Serbia, in Croatia, in Montenegro, in Macedonia, wherever in that area of the world where I'm from, who is being raised the same way I was raised, and who is lost and confused and sad and angry. Oh my God, so much angry that she's losing it. She thinks that she doesn't know how she's going to survive her teenage years or her adolescent period, because that was literally me. I was like bursting at the seams from this anger, from this like confusion, from this just this enormous pressure of being raised by somebody who didn't know. I'm not blaming them. Everybody did the best way that they could and that they knew at the time. But when you're a girl and you are being raised in such a traditional and strict and almost like military environment, when you just grow up like that, I think you learn to observe and to realize how wrong that is. Bubislav is also a girl. She's here. I don't know if you can see her. So this is my Bubislav. Who doesn't know, this is my cat. You want to say hi? Козя. Okay. She doesn't want to say hi. So, what was I saying? She's gonna be here with me. Yeah, my point is, I always imagine that there's another little girl who needs some kind of advice that I simply couldn't get. And that's honestly one of the main reasons that I'm making these videos, because I truly know how it feels to not have a woman to talk to. So let's get back to the video and let's get back to the real topic. You can't be fair in an unfair world. Yes, that is correct, especially if you are a woman. Why? Because just for the fact that you're a woman, you're already in a disadvantage, because you are living in a patriarchal society that was created by men for men, and there wasn't any kind of consideration about the benefit for women. Excuse me if I'm not using completely grammatically correct sentences. English is not my first language, and I honestly, oh, bless you, I honestly don't really care. So the point is important here, okay? Back to what I was saying. So when I was in therapy and when I was talking about this unfairness and this extreme morality that I had imprinted on me ever since I was a little girl, I was talking about these things with my therapist, and I could see in her eyes how shocked, shocked or like, I think she was shocked by the fact how structured and limited my mind was, in a sense of, I know what's right, I know what's wrong, and I know that I need to do what's right. God forbid if I do something wrong. And she was telling me, like, you're a human being. First of all, you're not perfect. You're never gonna be perfect. You're always gonna make mistakes. You can't have this much pressure on yourself to always make a good decision and the right decision and the moral decision, because this moral part is something that was bugging me so much ever since I was a kid, because I think that out of lack of knowledge from my father and my grandfather, and what did they know? They also came from these extremely traditional and closed-minded countries and places where, what was a woman? A woman was somebody who gives birth to your children, who is married to you, who cooks, who cleans, who somehow is always happy and looks amazing, but is actually miserable and dying inside. And her worth is measured by how much she can suffer. And that's unfortunately majority of our grandmothers, mothers, great grandmothers, etc. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's how they all lived, finished their lives, and passed on the generational trauma to the next line of women. And those women continue, or I hope that in this day and age they don't continue. I hope that this new generation of moms is not raising their daughters to think that their worth is measured by whether they get married or not, whether they have children or not, whether they have, I don't know, all of these like traditional beliefs that were imprinted on us ever since we were born, literally. I think that so many people are waking up, especially women, to the fact that we can't play fair. We can't always be 100% moral, 100% taking everybody else into consideration except ourselves, because ourselves, we always come last, everybody else needs to come before us. The husband, the child, the cousin, the sister, the brother, the mother, the father, every single person in the family comes before the woman. And then what does she get? Probably a disease like I got, diabetes type 1, autoimmune disease that you have to live with forever. And that's the badge of your good moral system, a disease. So I understand that maybe this sounds very angry and harsh and very serious and very like maybe dark because it is. And there's no sugarcoating around this. This topic is something that is still prevalent in that area of the world, the Balkans especially. And I've recently heard one man from that area say how happy he is that his woman is such a good woman, and they are already in their late years in their life. Oh, that's a good woman. That's what it's so important to have a good woman by your side. And that woman suffered most of her life because of him and because of life circumstances caused by him. But at the end of the life, she gets a badge. A good woman. That's a good woman. I mean, it's such a prominent topic, and something that I see all the time, and something that I saw so many times with so many women from my country, from that part of the world. And I can't even imagine in some other parts of the world that are less developed, how is it and how women are feeling over there. It must be a nightmare. I want to give you an example of one woman that passed away, and I was the last person who spoke with her, and I was the one who actually witnessed her death. It was in the hospital when they discovered that I have diabetes, and they, of course, kept me in the hospital. I was in intensive care, and with me in the waiting room was this woman. She was in her, I would say maybe like early 50s, and she was on a phone with somebody, and she was saying how, yes, I have to stay in the hospital. They have to keep me overnight. I don't feel really good. I feel bad. And she was just explaining to somebody on the other side of the phone how she is genuinely not fine, how she is sick, and how she needs to stay in a hospital. And the other person on the other side of the phone, I heard it because it was very loud, was just like kind of dismissing her. The other person was just like, you're fine, it's gonna be fine, it's nothing serious. Like, I think it was one of her children, I'm not sure, because she had 6 children. 6 children. Later on, they bring us up to the intensive care. I'm in one bed, she is in a bed next to me. And we start talking, and she also had diabetes, but she also had some other complications with her heart and whatnot. So I was very scared. I was very confused because that was the first time in my life that I heard that I have diabetes. And imagine, it was literally in one day. Somebody discovers you have diabetes. They're like, nope, you're not going home. You're staying here. I've never stayed in a hospital before that. So I was like terrified of everything. And she was very kind. She was very nice to me. And she was trying to make me feel better, to talk to me, to just kind of explain to me that, yeah, hospital is sometimes necessary, don't worry, you will get through it, and all of these things. And I couldn't help but notice through my conversation with her. So she had 6 kids. Her youngest child was 15 at the time. She was this, you can just clearly see it. You can see when you look at a woman and when you hear her talk for more than 5 minutes, you can just see it. She was this devoted mother, devoted wife, devoted woman for her family, sacrificing every single minute of her life for her family. She died that night next to me. I literally witnessed the moment when she died, and the moment when the staff from the hospital came, took her away like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. Tomorrow, all of her children came when she already passed. And it was just such a eye-opening situation for me, because I remember her talking to one of her children the night before how she's not well, but nobody was taking her seriously. Nobody was acknowledging her pain. Nobody was acknowledging that she is actually not fine. And tomorrow day came and she was gone. That's just one of the examples of how unfair life can be to you, even though you devote yourself, you sacrifice yourself, you sacrifice your health, you sacrifice your work, your body for birthing the 6 children, everything. I mean, I don't know her whole life story, of course, and I don't know exactly how her life played out in every single minute, but from the long conversation that we had, I could gather enough information to make these assumptions. I will never forget that. I will absolutely never forget that, and I will never forget many other situations with women in my family, outside my family, all of those women that were glorified, mostly by men, were the most miserable and sad women that I've ever seen in my life. None of them were happy. None of them were healthy. They all had some kind of disease. They all died very young, including my grandma. My grandma is literally, I mean, I talked about her in a previous video as well, but she is literally the example of what happens to you when you put everybody else before yourself. That was me also, until I got diabetes and until I realized that I cannot, for the sake of my life and health, I cannot put other people before me. I can't. I will literally die if I do that, if I continue doing that, because I almost did. If that's not enough for a person to realize, and I'm saying women especially because I'm a woman and because women have been brainwashed ever since we're born, that we are these servants, these caregivers, these peacemakers, these, I don't even know how to describe us. And we need to stop convincing girls, teenagers, young women that their only life purpose is to serve, to keep the peace, to keep the family, to keep the marriage, to keep this, to keep that, and not to keep their sanity. I wish I could grab myself when I was 16, 17, 18, 20, before I got diabetes. I got diabetes in 2023, actually, not that long ago. I wish I could grab myself and say to myself, stop it. Stop whatever you're doing, put yourself first. But I can't do that. So the best thing I can do is to hopefully prevent another young woman or a girl to do the same thing. It's a very deep and difficult topic to talk about, but it's an important one. So, yeah, I mean, I get so emotional and so riled up whenever I talk about these things because it hits me so hard. And every time I think about all of those women, my grandma, that woman from the hospital, my friends, myself included, like I'm no better than those women. And I will never say that I am. But I am happy that I realized that that is not a way to live and that you have an option to live differently. And it is up to you. It is up to you to change the narrative, to stop behaving like you've been behaving your whole life, to unlearn the things you've been brainwashed with, and to learn new things. We thankfully live in this day and age where we have internet, we have all the knowledge in the world, we have books, we have libraries, knowledge is available. So girls, educate yourselves, read as much as you can, watch as many podcasts from smart women as you can, educate yourself, unlearn all of the stupid things that will never serve you in this life and just thrive and focus on yourself. And I have to mention, this is in no shape or form hate to men. Absolutely not. I think we have enough of this dividing mentality that, oh, men are trash, men are bad. A lot of men are, but not all men. Not all men. There are some wonderful men that I know, and I would never say that they're trash. And they are actually the ones who support women and who want to see women also thrive, and who want women to unlearn all of these stupid things that we've been brainwashed with. So no, I do not hate men. This is not propaganda against men. This is help and hopefully something that will be useful to younger women, to girls, to adolescents, whoever stumbles across this video. I hope that in some way it will be helpful. So yeah, no hate towards men, just educating women, I hope. So yeah, Bobislav and I are saying goodbye, and we hope you like this video, and let us know in the comments how do you like it, and if you have any stories that you would like to share. I always love to read other people's experiences and thoughts. So yeah, feel free to comment if you have anything to add. Bye.